So I crashed here. So I'm going to be recording the rest of part 2 of the NCAA Women's College Volleyball scores here. So when I ended, it was Denver 82 took it in the Air Force tournament, 3-2. So and that was at Air Force University. In that one, and we have in the Red Rare Classic, UT Arlington defeated the Roller Classic. I got incorrect word. Defeat Yogani in the Red Rare Classic 3-6. Like I said, VCU 3-6-1 over Old Mini. Yes, Michigan plus 9-1 with a 3-6 sweep over Notre Dame. Michigan State 3-6-1 over Bowling Green, the Catholic Bauer Invitational. Cal State in West from Purdue, West Lafayette, Indiana. Cal State from Mississippi. Ball State and Purdue, Northern Purdue wins 3-6 James Madison or UT Ribbon Valley in the Erie Insurance Official Sponsor Rotational 3-6-1. A lot of these are not sponsored, I just have their team name or school or to host it. Big Lions for sports. Not an official like school name, but like the state. Just like some might go like Alabama, Birmingham. That might be their official name. But in sports, that's what they go by because Alabama's already taken, Alabama might be like University of Alabama, Tuscaloosa. So, technically so. And then Upstate, Appalachian State defeats Duke 3-6-1. Utah gets their second loss year to number 10 SMU as Steve Austin Trent. Some teams from Texas playing Steve Austin Trent and number 10 SMU wins 3-6-1 or Utah. UConn goes to 9-1. UConn is a very slow team. Last year, UConn made the second-tier volleyball tournament. Not a right game for the second-tier volleyball tournament. Was on like ESPN Plus. Pretty much. They pretty much have it to where like every single game was on there, unless it was hosted by like last year it was. Before they used to have it to where like the ESPN Plus game school. Before it used to be like where like the AC teams would be AC or extra, the SC teams they had SC or Plus. But this year they have it to where every school was on ESPN Plus. For a second tier tournament, they might have it. They don't have exclusive rights to every second tier game, but like the Big East going to ESPN Plus for the Big East hosting games. The only ones that would be on other schools would be Flow for the Coastal Athletic Association. Any team hosting games there, or Big Ten teams hosting in Big Ten Plus. So yeah, but they made the second tier tournament. Still, UConn did not advance very far in it, but UConn at least made that tournament. So that was a good solid start for a team. UConn that does not have UConn. I've never known UConn as being like a prestigious like volleyball school, but they might be a team to reckon with. Maybe be like you have Crane, you have Marquette, and you may have UConn sitting at the third spot. So those are the teams outside the NCAA tournament that made the NCAA tournament last year. You may have UConn just right below them, making the second tier tournament. Maybe, trying to make the second tier tournament. Again, at least their goal at minimum would be make one of the postseason tournaments. And if they make the second tier tournament instead of the NCAA tournament, can they advance farther in the second tier tournament, than they did before, because a lot of times like winning like in sports like the basketball, they've always had like a second tier volleyball tournament, basketball tournament, like the WNIT was second tier tournament, and they had like that tournament. And, if teams who would get far on that, or like win it all, would have success, and then teams maybe who just got like on the bubble of just getting in, lost the first game. They won. Like the second, they won. Like they won like a few games. Like maybe instead of around 64, maybe they made around 32, around 16 the year after, So they like won a game or two. So it can really help, now in the third tier basketball tournament, it's the WNIT, 40 teams, the second tier is the WBIT. So you can advance. So if you advance, win some of these tournaments or get far in there, and maybe get the next tournament supports. So I think it really can help a team like UConn winning that, making it to the second tier tournament. Maybe this year they can have some more success, pushing themselves. Hey, we made it to the second tier tournament. Now can we, the second tier volleyball tournament? Now can we, as a program, build on that and make it to like regardless of who they're playing Brown. It was 3 and 4. Yes, they're not the best school, but still, a team like UConn stringing wins together, getting some great wins under their belt, advancing to like the second tier tournament, going to 9-0, so they can advance in that tournament. UConn can advance like to like round of, I believe there's 32 teams. I want to say in that one. So advancing round of the 32 teams. I'm not for sure. I don't remember honestly. But still advancing in that tournament, winning a few games at least. It would be their next ideal goal. West Virginia sweeps Jacksonville at their own invitation. 3 sets of G-Invade. South Carolina defeats South Carolina State 3 sets of in a standalone non-conference match. Duquesne had an invitation share with Robert Morris. 3 sets of Duquesne over Buffalo. Akron in a standalone non-conference match. They had a sweep. Cleveland State. Marshall defeats Wofford. The Wofford invitation 3 sets to North Carolina. UNC Greensboro sweeps North Carolina 3 sets to Pennsylvania sweeps the Delaware invitation 3 sets to Fairfield sweeps Central Connecticut in a standalone match. High Point sweeps UMBC in a standalone match. Kent State over Youngstown State 3 sets to in a non-conference match. Colgate defeats American University in a Peach League conference match. Peach League Eastern non-conference 3 sets to 2. St. Peter's beats Morgan State 3 sets to 1 in a standalone non-conference match. West Queens University of Western Carolina in a non-conference match 3 sets to 12. Mercer Invitational beats North Dakota 3 sets to 1. Loyola Maryland 3 sets to 2 over Holy Cross in a Peach Conference match. Miami in the 305 Invitational fleets Florida Gulf Coast 3 sets to 1. Elon sweeps Hampton in the Coastal Athletic Association conference match. Round Morse 3 sets to over St. Francis in the Duquesne Round Morse Invitational. Florida International 3 sets to 1 over Coastal Carolina 305 Invitational. Syracuse over Siena in the Syracuse Invitational 3 sets to 12. Charlotte at home over Ohio in the Charlotte Invitational 3 sets to 12. Northern Kentucky over Miami, Ohio 3 sets to 12. In the Region Cajuns Classic. Louisiana over Southern 3 sets to 12. Number 24 Tennessee in the Tennessee Classic. They sweep Kansas State. Penn State number 13 Penn State sweeps beats Princeton 3 sets to 2 in the Penn State Classic. Number 12 Minnesota played at Loyola Chicago. Loyola Chicago had 3 games, 3 standalone matches instead of having an invitational or classic or tournament or whatever you would to. They said they play 3 standalone games and they kind of treat it like a mini invitation. They played one at home in Chicago, where against Minnesota. Chicago played one at home against Minnesota, and they played at Illinois Chicago, which is basically in Chicago. So is Chicago's in Chicago or outside the Chicago suburbs. I'm not exactly sure, but like they're like pretty much like, and then they play in DePaul, which is like pretty much right nearby Chicago, which is so playing DePaul, which is right near Chicago, so play a couple of those teams, so Chicago teams, so. And it's not a tough competition, but so you can build on that and grow from it. And especially when you get to like conference play, you play teams that are like tougher than you. So we can draw on that and be like, we've played teams that are even tougher than us, yeah. So I'll try and set them up well for conference play in the Missouri Valley Conference. Number 2, Texas sweeps number 2 Baylor. 3 sets to love. That was the SC Network featured women's volleyball game. We had Dean, maybe UC Santa Barbara 3 sets to 1. In the Dean Invitational, Vermont 3 sets to 1. Kansas State defeats number 25 North Carolina 3 sets to 2. South Dakota State and Salem Metro Boys State 3 sets to 12. In the Flowers Paradise Classic, Florida 3 sets to 12 over Stetson. Paris State 3 sets to 1 over Sam Houston. The Bearcat Classic, it's hosted by Sam Houston. South Florida traveled to Omaha for a Salem match, and it went 2 sets to extra points. 25-18 first set for South Florida. 22 first set for South Florida. 25-18. Second set for Omaha. 30-28 and 30-36. 38 first set wins for South Florida. Slaughter Mets at the One Eagle Classic at the home invitational. Classic, I should say. They sweep Grambling 25-14, 25-22, 25-15. Grambling remains winless at 1-8. Tennessee Tech beats Green Bay 3 sets to 1 at the Green Bay Classic. Hosted by Green Bay. The Texas A&M's home invitational. They sweep New Hampshire. Marquette in the Salem match sweeps number 15 Florida at home. 3 sets of Iowa State defeats Eastern Illinois in the Illinois Triangular 3 sets to 1. Prairie Fort Wayne beats Mercy 3 sets to 1. With the fourth set win 35-33. But now in Patriot play sweeps beats Lehigh 3 sets to 1 now sweep. Army in Army Navy match. Army defeats Navy 3 sets to 1. They always play Patriot League play. Army and Navy always play rivalry in sports. They always play like a best of 3 series in baseball and softball. Like basketball, they always play one at Army and at Navy. And Tarleton State 3 sets to 1. Texas Pacific at Tarleton State over USA Tech. Like the same Army Navy, they always play 2 games, 1 at Army Navy basketball. They always play Army Navy football. They always play one in like every sport like lacrosse. The best is a 3-game set in softball, baseball. They always play 1 in lacrosse. They have like soccer. Both sports have soccer. They always play soccer. They always play every sport they have against each other. They always play in because they're Patriot members, so they always do. And they always play the 2 or that's 3-game series. Like if you play baseball, softball, you only play them in 3 games each. So you have a 3-game set. So then, or they always play once if they can. If they can, they'll play twice. And then USC and the Chicago defeats the Paul in the Chicago Cup 3 sets to 1. So it's the Chicago Cup, so that's why they're on Iowa over East 16. 3 sets to 1 in the Iowa tournament to keep the 6 A&M winners. And then we had Maryland sweeps 3 sets to 1. Clemson wins the Baylor match, which was 3 sets to 1. The Stanford Fishery UCLA defeats Texas 3 sets to 1. Utah 3 sets to 1 Utah. Idaho 3 sets to 2 over Tennessee State in the Terra Invitational. Georgia 3 sets to 2 over Georgia Tech. Boston College remains unbeaten in the Boston College Eagles Invitational. Eagle Classic 3 sets over Stone. Fresno State 3 sets lower. Cal State versus Central Cal Challenge. Alcorn State gets their first win over non-division 1 3 sets low in the CBU scrimmage at Christian Brothers University. Rice their second rotation win defeat Cornell 3 sets low. Butler in their own invitation, they followed up and wins Varsity 3 sets to 2. Butler won 25-22, 25-19 set first 2 sets. Then Minneapolis won sets 3-4-5, 25-22, sets 3-4, and 15-10 set 5. Then ECEO 3 sets 2 versus UC San Diego. Auburn defeats Saber now by shots. Tulsa in Tulsa, Oklahoma. They defeat Roberts, which is from Oklahoma. 3 sets to love. And the Tulsa T-show, so Roberts. Streaming is on the side all night. When you look at the first win summary play, which they should have the opportunity to do that. So these teams are the best records. Including Kansas, Omaha, so between 3 sets to 1 Providence and 2 T-show. The Houston T-show, Liberty defeats Houston 3 sets to Western Kentucky gives Indiana first loss year at us Kavanaugh Classic 3 sets to love. So Western Kentucky 25-23, 25-20, 20-26, 3 sets sweep for Indiana. So Indiana gets the first loss year. In the Razorback T-show, they sweep North Dakota State 3 sets to love. Wichita State beats South Dakota 3 sets 1 at South Dakota Classic. And Cindy Volleyball Classicers will see McGreen King sweeps Monkey 3 sets to love. Lamar defeats Texas 3 sets to 2. Lamar T-show. UTSA beats Florida 3 sets 1 in the Royal Classic. And this over Texas Royal Classic 3 sets 1. Razor 3 sets over Western Illinois Classic. Vanderbilt 3 sets 1 over UC Rain. And the Steel match. Iowa State 3 sets 2 over Romeo Dish. Single leg. So Kansas City the Missouri Cut Challenge 3 sets 2. In the Web College Classic. Arizona State defeats Pepperdine 3 sets to love. And Washington State defeats Eastern Washington Stanley match 3 sets to love. Cal Poly did the Solo Classic sweeps number 20 Utah 3 sets to love. Carlos State Stanley match beats Carlos State 3 sets to break. Carlos State Stanley match beats UCarl 3 sets 1. And then South Florida. There's 2 teams from California. Well, South Florida for match. There's 3 sets to 1. Custom Northridge were San Jose State. And then Northern Colorado were Air Force 3 sets 2. The Air Force 2. Northern Colorado Reverse sweeps Air Force 25, 21, 25, 22 for Air Force. And then Northern Colorado 25, 20, 25, 18, 15. San Diego sweep beats San Diego State 3 sets to 2. Stanford and North Stanford sweeps Hawaii 3 sets to love. Number 19 USC. They sweep LSU. Number 19 USC's only loss. And student BYU, who is ranked number 16. Oregon 3 sets to 2 over Oregon State. Was it not net? And then the sets Oregon won 25-12, 25-13, sets 2 and 4. And then 5 was 15-12. And then 25-18, 25-24. Portland State Oregon. So sets there with Portland State was a lot closer than sets Oregon won, but still. Oregon does get the win. And then San Jose State and Central Cal Challenge. San Jose State 3 sets over Pacific.